What's up, guys? What is up? Welcome back to another episode of Deck Talk Podcast. And as you can see, just to the, I guess it's to the left of on the screen, but we got Norman's daddy on here tonight, and we are going to have a blast. And if you don't know this character, you're going to get to know him tonight, and we're just going to have a blast. So, guys, if you don't know, I'm Colin Burnett.
That's right, Colin, and I am normally, but you know what? As always, first we got to take care of some business. First off, Colin, with tonight's sponsor of tonight's episode. This episode is brought to you by Spirit Point Performance Hooks. Hooks proven and tested to put more fish in your boat using their proven V-grip technology. Spear Point hooks will perfectly present lures and provide the most secure connection between hook and fish, giving you the ability to help prevent fish from shaking off. Spear Point hooks are designed to perform and trusted by anglers all across the world. Make sure to take advantage of Spear Point's Black Friday special starting November 25th and running all the way through Thanksgiving weekend. Receive a 50% discount on orders placed off the website for that period of time. Go to their website at www.spearpointperformance or www.spearpointhooks.com. Again, that is spearpointhooks.com, and become part of the Spearpoint Performance Hooks family by taking part in this incredible Black Friday sale. That's right, Colin, man. You know what? First off, this show has been a long time in the coming. We have finally locked dates with this cool character to get him on. But anyway, we got a lot to go over, so I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get this cool dude introduced here. Our guest tonight has found success at almost every level of BASS competition. In 2020, he won the Bassmaster Eastern Open on Cherokee Lake, which qualified him for his first of 5 Bassmaster Classics, consecutive Bassmaster Classics. He is one of the only anglers who have ever qualified for the Classic 3 different ways: the Bassmaster Opens, the Bassmaster Team Championship, and the Elite Series. Since becoming a full-time pro in 2020, he has been a force to be reckoned with and a stat sheet that proves it, making the day 3 cut 40 times in just 57 events, with 20 top 20s, 10 top 10s, a second, 1 win, along with 5 qualifications into the Super Bowl of bass fishing, the Bassmaster Classic, straight from the trailer park to the top of the bass fishing world. And I quote, the man who's more slick than a dadgum ugly stick, the man himself, Matt Robertson.
What's up, brother?
What's up,
What's
dude?
up, guys? I would like to be, for the next hour or so, I want to be known as the man who's Norman's daddy.
All right, I'm down with
Man,
it.
man, I can deal with that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I can do. I can deal with that as long as I'm in that inheritance there that you got
What
going on.
the $4,000 trailer?
I I mean, if you're lucky, and if it's a proper Kentucky trailer home, there's at least 4 cars in the front yard, so you might have a
Well, there's
choice of
4
4
out there
cars.
right now.
See, I told you. So,
Yep.
man, so how's this life been treating you, and married life?
Oh, everything's going good, man. Everything's going good. The wife's keeping the house up. I've been fishing and got her a camera. She's been filming for me. So,
Good deal.
yeah, everything's good. Got Wendell up here, had him fishing a little bit,
Heck yeah.
and I'm getting a back deck for my trailer the second week of December, so it's super good.
You're
Good
moving
deal,
on up.
man.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Moving
Yeah,
on
my
up to
back
the east
deck's gonna be a pontoon.
Oh, man. Hey, you don't have to get a permit for that.
Oh no.
No, you
It's just
just
a boat.
it's a boat just parked in the backyard.
There you
I'll
go.
be honest with you, I ain't never got a permit for nothing. I put this thing here and ain't even had it inspected. I had the electric put in, put the water in, and the septic, and I hooked it all up myself. And the power was already on, so hell, I said the hell with them, and we just moved in.
Hey, just if it works, I mean.
Yeah, right.
So I want to talk a little bit though. I know that you are a Kentucky Lake king, and So is there anybody out there that's going to give Norman's daddy a run for their money on Kentucky Lake, or are you still just going to hold that title until ever you decide to relinquish it?
Oh, day in and day out, nobody's taking it from me. Somebody may go out there and get lucky in a little one day, you know,
Yeah.
little open or something, but day in and day out, they're only wishing.
So
Uh,
I which I grew up in Middle Tennessee in Nashville. My grandfather had a camp there in Paris Landing, and when I was growing up, Kentucky Lake was known for to be a pretty good largemouth. But over what the past 10 years or so, or whatever, that the Asian carp has came in. Have they finally got that to where it's starting to make a climb back to where it's getting back to what it was?
Well, I don't think the Asian carp's getting any better, but I can tell you that the lake is doing better. There's a lot of shad in the lake. They're catching a lot of smallmouth, but more importantly, the largemouth population's coming back on.
Good.
Like,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people saw an MLF event earlier in the year thinking that this is going to become a smallmouth fishery. That's not the case.
Right.
Um, it's gonna you got to have the largemouth here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, is there any talks of them like putting any of the Florida strand into Kentucky Lake? Because I
So
heard where they're
Tennessee's putting Florida strains in.
yeah, because I know that because they were talking about here on Chick and on Nickajack, and then all through the Tennessee River that they were going to have the Florida strand put in, or
Yeah,
more
they
of them.
are.
Well, Chick already has had them, but so
Yeah.
um, we know that you live and die by the big swim bait,
Oh yeah,
and
Norman's seen it firsthand.
Yep,
yeah,
yep,
and we is what has it got to do? I mean, for you to wind up to put that big swim bait down. I mean, because we know that you swing for the you go big or go home is what you told us the first time that we had talked to
Oh
you.
yeah.
Like I swing for the fences every time I go out there. With this next year, are you still gonna chunk it as much as what you did this year?
No, I'm not. Like, I chucked it too much the first half of this year, and I had a pretty bad first half of the year, and Wendell called me and was like, you know, I wasn't going to say nothing, but I'm going to now, and I think you need to put the glide baits down. Chris Johnson had the same talk with me. I was like, all right, it's time to put the swim baits down,
Yeah.
and did that, and then we went on and had a good second
yeah,
half of the
Second
yeah.
year.
half, yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
so
went on a pretty good run on the second half and had some really good finishes. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was one or two tournaments at the beginning of the year that
yeah.
really hurt you. Where
Oh
you
yeah,
really
it
couldn't
was.
recover from them. Yeah,
So, but I do love watching you swing on them with the big old swim baits and the glide baits uh,
Oh, there ain't nothing funner.
mm. And so
yeah,
Nothing
you,
funner.
I can remember what at the in Tulsa here this past classic, you had one that was tied up onto the deck, and that sucker it just looked white. I mean, it had so many teeth marks on that sucker. It didn't even have the
Oh
regular
yeah.
paint on it. It was just white.
yeah,
Listen, man, that Tulsa Classic. I just needed a few more bites a day. Like, dude,
Yeah,
I was zoned in on them, dude. It was unreal. It
yeah.
was unreal. Like they were biting that big swim bait, and I needed a few more spots, few more areas, or something. I just didn't have enough to go the distance, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, I really thought the Knoxville Classic though, I thought you was your best chance I mean, I really was expecting you to come in there on Sunday and just wear them out as long as and if Gussie would have stumbled. And he did
Yeah.
stumble, but I really thought Norman and I were talking that we're like if Gussie stumbles and old Matt, because I mean, I mean, you were
I was
bringing
fishing
in
for
some.
big ones.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, and you were catching them.
you were the only angler, I believe. There might have been one other towards the bottom half of the top 25. You were the only angler in the top 25 not to have 2 days of you had 10 fish,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
you had 5 fish, and you were still, I think, I forget what you were going into day three, but you were almost like 10th or something
yeah,
like that going
Yeah,
into day
yeah.
three.
I weighed in 5 or 6, and I was
Yeah,
almost top 10. And I
you weighed
think
in.
I was averaging a 4.5 pound average.
yeah.
Yeah, you weighed in 3 fish on day one, and the day I was on the boat, I filmed with you all day long on day two, and you had 2 fish, and you were
Yeah.
still right there at the top 10. So yeah, man, one or two more fish, and brother, you would have been right
You,
there fighting for the
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Super Six.
So, what can we expect from you this next year coming?
Um, I don't know. I really don't know what to expect from myself half the time, boys. I mean, we're gonna try not to get fined. I need to go a little bit longer without getting a code of conduct violation, so I don't have to pay a hammer fine. My next code of conduct violation's 10 grand. So like I'm trying not to get in too much trouble because I can't afford it. You know. Um. So we're gonna try not to get in too much trouble, but hey, listen, if I get pissed off or something, well, it's gonna happen anyway. It's just so.
Yeah,
But but no, man, we're gonna fish a little smarter.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now, and I tell everybody that I talk to and stuff about the podcast, and they'll ask who like the some of the anglers and stuff that we know, and they'll ask if we know Norman's daddy, and we're like, yeah, we know Norman's daddy, they ask, is he really legit like what we see on TV? And I tell every single body, I said, if you want somebody that is going to be truly legit with you, tell you how it is, it's going to be Norman's daddy on here. There's
That's right.
nobody else that's he's not going to sugarcoat anything for you. It's just going to tell you how it is,
yeah,
and that's one thing that I really do like about your personality, and it to me it brings out a different kind of atmosphere into the fishing realm that before you were there that may not have been there. And I believe that just with how you presented yourself, that it has brought a bigger crowd and a different crowd to the elites to be able to come and watch. And I mean, because even at the classics, there ain't no telling how many on them hats and shirts and stuff like that, and how many of your jerseys are that you see out in the stands because it is phenomenal. I don't know if you see that, but we see it.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah, dude. I do see it, especially at the weigh-ins. Like it's pretty wild.
Yeah,
It's pretty wild. But
you
no,
know,
dude, this is fishing. Like I don't know what a lot of people thinks. I don't know if they're high on the horse, but dude, we're rednecks fishing out there. Some of them ain't rednecks, but they got to realize there's more rednecks in the world fishing than not.
yeah.
And I just don't give a crap. So, like, this ain't golf. This ain't wearing, some crotch hugging shorts halfway up to your knees and some fancy polo shirts,
yeah,
man. Hell,
yeah,
half the time we don't even fish with shirts on growing up.
yeah,
Well,
So
yeah.
yeah,
dragging John boat and you telling me
yeah,
I'm supposed to act right and everything?
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
It's some.
and you know what? I remember back. This is dating back 5 classics ago. You're actually your very first classic, and I remember something said on day two after you weighed in on day two, and you were going to make the Super Six on Sunday. And Mercer asked you point blank if you happen to pull off something special here and win this classic and your first classic ever fished, what are you going to do? Are you going to buy a huge house? Are you going to move out of the trailer park? And I remember your comments 100% to this day, and that was, Dave, if I win this classic and pull off something special, I'm going to tell the wife we're going to have the best looking trailer in the whole damn trailer park. But no, I'm not moving out of my trailer. But the reason I bring that up is to bring this up. That's one of the reasons I think a lot of the sport gravitates to you loves you to death. You have such a huge following is because the fortune, fame, being one of the best bass fishermen on the Elite Series or out there on the water today has not changed you. A lot of anglers, as soon as they start getting that notoriety, they change who they are and they want to try to be somebody they're not. They want to try to
Oh
follow
yeah.
everybody else. You, my man, have stayed true to yourself, who you are. You don't change. I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, we love you for a lot of different reasons, but that's one of the reasons we really love you is because of who you are, and you never change, no matter how big you've gotten, and you
Yeah,
have gotten to be one of the biggest out there, and that's why a
I
lot of
know. I've
fans
gained about
gravitate to
30
you.
pounds in the last 2 months.
And not only that, right? Not only that, but Bass should be gratified towards you because you have brought a whole different fan base into the sport as well that might not have ever knew what professional bass fishing was before Matt Robertson came along. Just like Tiger Woods did with golf back in the day,
Yeah.
or Ike and Ellie, Mike Ike.
Yeah.
When he first came into the sport, he brought a whole different area of fishermen and fishing fans. Same thing you're doing today in the modern day of bass fishing. So, and we hold our hats to you, brother, because you're doing it the right way.
Yeah. I
yeah.
appreciate it, Norman.
So, so did you gain that weight so you can get a little upper hand on some like tournament wrestling that goes on during the season, or is that just kind of it just happened type deal?
Well, it ain't gonna hurt me in the wrestling, but I think I caught him a little better whenever I was fatter, so I figured I might as well do that. And man, I'll be honest with you, wife makes some hammered out good potatoes, man. Let me tell you
Ah,
something. Potatoes, ice cream, drumsticks, and I've been eating too many of those Christmas tree cakes because I know it ain't
hey,
Thanksgiving, but they're already out in stores.
Man,
And
I need to tell you that uh, your buddy right here delivers those little Debbie cakes, and actually in your neck of the woods, I deliver them too. So
really,
yeah, I have a
well, you
48
probably
foot.
stocked the ones I ate today.
Probably did. We sent them to. Let's see. I was. Let's see. I had Hopkinsville. I had all that up in that west.
No joke.
Yep. So I have. We do go and deliver about last last trip. I had 2,900 cases of them things. So
No joke. The
yep.
Christmas tree cake's the best one.
Well, I tell people that it's just like a zebra cake with sprinkles, but people
It
argue with
is. It is, but it's a
it.
lucky Christmas tree.
Yeah. So, but maybe I can get a case and send them your way, brother. So, but I just and another thing, excuse me, I want to know is are we going to be seeing a new sponsor like with Fruit of a Loom or something like that with old Norman's daddy this year?
No, no, not as of right now. Um, FXR, they're my clothing sponsor. They make some boxers, and yeah, I don't know. They got to work on them a little bit. I don't know if they're stout enough to hold the package together.
Understandable.
So yeah, yeah, got a
So
little work to do in that department.
yeah, well, when that all came about, Norman said that you were crazy for doing that. I told
Yeah,
him that you were brilliant. I said because that's just another marketing gimmick. That I said that's another marketing gimmick that old
yeah,
Matt's doing. I said now watch, he's going to have a an underwear sponsor within the next few years. So
yeah.
we
Oh,
were
look, Bass
waiting on.
got Jockey as a sponsor. It's
It. Yeah,
probably because of me
that's
taking my
the
daggone drawers off.
yeah, and you should get royalties off of that.
Oh, I agree with you.
So,
I
uh,
was, I was going to say real quick while we're on the subject of sponsors, some of those ugly stick commercials that you put out with ugly stick, they are
Oh,
some
yeah.
epic. They
oh,
look like you have a blast doing them. uh, who is the choreographer, or who thinks of how those commercials are come together? Do you kind of put that together, or does ugly stick, or is it a collaboration? Because
Ugly,
I
it,
laugh my ass off during those commercials.
Ugly Stick had a crew come in, an actual film crew, and it took us. actually about 9 or 10 days to film all that stuff down in Nashville, and it was a combination of some of their ideas and me improving it. And yeah, I didn't. I'll be honest with you, like I'd probably just go to Hollywood if this fishing stuff don't work out. You know,
That's what I was thinking.
When
I
you were
mean,
pressure
that's
cleaning the inside of that house, I was laughing my butt off, and I was saying, "Man, Matt is having a blast doing that
oh
right now."
yeah,
Because I wish I was there doing that.
oh yeah. Can't nobody else do that stuff.
no, no.
Uh
And because if anybody else tried to do that, they're going to be like, man, that dude is crazy. But then when you slide old Norman's daddy right in there to it, they're like, that's probably how he cleans his house.
Oh yeah, ain't no
So,
doubt.
so
You like that Norman's daddy, don't you?
oh, yeah, I'm going to say it the whole time. That's what you asked for. So, I mean, we're here to please. So,
Look at Norm. Look at how Norm there
You, you,
liking that.
you'll get me to blush again there, like you did
yeah.
last year at the classic.
So,
Oh God, you got me to blushing.
yeah, that was. I think we had to do some editing on that one, on that
Yeah,
video for sure.
I had to edit that conversation out of there. That was the longest one to edit.
But we do have a question. Uh, Bo says, "What is your thoughts on the forward-facing sonar?"
It's whatever. Like. I would rather not use it, but to each their own. I'm like at first I didn't care, but I thought, man, like I'm actually old school fisherman. Like I'm better off without it because I
Yeah,
would go back to using my old HDS 10, scanning, doing my thing, lining up on stuff. So it would actually help me better.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. I don't know. Right now we've got over 1,200 people on here watching us.
Nice.
So real quick, Matt. Since we got all these people on, is there
Yeah.
what's your social media? Let's do a plug for your social media and stuff like that, to where people can reach out to you and follow you and do all that stuff too.
My Instagram's on them fishing, on them underscore fishing. My Facebook is Matt Robertson on them, and I don't remember what my TikTok is, but yeah, you can go to those and follow me there.
Yeah. So make sure you do that, and because I'd like to get a message back from old Norman's daddy saying that we had a couple hundred people started following him since the podcast. So that'd be great to see.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I do want to know where where would you like to see the elites to go and fish?
Honestly, I'd like to see the elites come back to Kentucky Lake. I think they will. They got an open coming there this year. But I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't mind making a tour out west. I know nobody wants. I know a lot of people don't want to do it because of the cost and everything. But listen, I'd be all about going to the California Delta or somewhere
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah,
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
we talked about and talked to other anglers and stuff. I would love to see y'all go to the Delta, because I just think that, I mean, there's some monster fish out there, and to be able to uh, see y'all go out there, even if it's just once every 5 years or something like that, to be
Oh
able to
yeah.
merge it out that way.
Oh
So
yeah. I agree with you.
where is there a lake that has your number that you kind of hate seeing if it's on the
The St.
schedule?
Johns River. 100% the St. Johns River has my number like nobody's business.
Man, so
Like, we're going to get some of it this year.
yeah. What
Yeah, I think we'll do good there this year.
then what lake are you looking forward to hitting on the schedule?
Lake Fork, man, it's probably I don't know if I like Lake Fork or Champlain better, but dude, I'm 100% love going to Lake Fork. Love catching great big bass. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm fired up about that.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that I guarantee you that big old glide bait is definitely going to be in the hand on that trip.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it will be in the hand on that trip.
yeah.
You ain't wrong.
That Lake Fork tournament, I think, is going to be a free for all for big bass. I think there's going to be lots and many
Oh,
big
it
bass
is.
weighting. Yeah, it's going to be a free for all big bass way.
Oh yeah.
So
Yep.
with all the lakes that y'all go to, and how has Lake Fork been able to manage like to be able to keep them big bass? Like I mean, y'all have come to Chickamauga, and which y'all haven't been to Chickamauga in a couple years, but how has Lake Fork been able? I mean, because they get pounded and pounded. So how have they been able to manage?
Dude, Lake Fork does get hammered year in, year out, day in, day out. It gets pounded. But dude, it's something special about that place. It's got the great big gizzard shad in it. Like they eat them big gizzard shad, and it's got more 4 to 8 pounders per acre than any other lake I think in the country.
Right.
And dude, it's just I don't know, man. It's just got that plentiful population
Yeah,
that dude, you just ain't gotta.
yeah.
It just keeps on putting them out.
Now,
Yeah.
I really think their lake management in Texas, whether it's
Yeah,
Texas
yeah,
or the county that, or it's probably the state of Texas that does the lake management with their slot limit on Lake Fork, because you guys are only allowed
yep,
to weigh in one lunker over a certain size. Everything else is catch and release and weigh.
yeah,
But I think that has a lot to do with it. Is their slot limit? The fish are getting put back. They're not being lugged around all day
Yeah.
by many, not only you guys, but every boat
yep.
out there. So I think that helps.
They also do that share lunker program.
Oh yeah,
I think that's really helping.
yeah,
Right. So, uh, with that being said, is there a bait that your one of your sponsors has come out with, like let's say at ICAST, that you can talk about right
yeah.
now
That you're allowed to talk about right now.
that you are looking forward
Yeah,
to, or even with the ugly stick or rod or something like that? Is there something that your sponsors are coming out with that you're looking forward to being able to utilize this next year?
yeah. There's a couple. I designed a couple ugly stick carbons, a 7.3 and a 7.6, and I used them last year. And I got to tell you, they are sick. They're $80, like 7 year warranty. Like you can't beat that. No questions
No.
asked. And, and dude, they're not big, heavy, and gaudy. They're nice and nice light rods, strong, and dude, another one is actually it's pretty wild. It's a Savage Gear shrimp, and
Really?
you wouldn't think about a shrimp in freshwater, but
Mm-mm.
like it's a shrimp bait. It's actual print of a shrimp, and it's made out of a TPE plastic. It's not elastic, but it's stronger than elastic,
Right.
and it's you can catch 50 fish off one of them. But dude, that thing, I've had it up north, I've had it down here, and it's legit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
would you rather fish like a river system, or would you rather like a highland reservoir?
Dude, I'm old school. I grew up fishing the rivers, and I'd rather fish a river, honestly. Flipping,
Yeah,
throwing a spinner bait, square bill. I'd rather river fish.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it to me, I'm the exact same way. I mean, I grew up on Old Hickory Lake, and I'd rather fish Old Hickory Lake than Percy Priest when I was in Nashville, and and now
Yep.
being in Chattanooga, I mean, we got the Tennessee River coming right through our back door, and so we got
Yep.
Chickamauga, Nickajack, and Gunnersville with the stone's throw away. And but if they
Yep.
don't have the current going, if there's no current, you might as well just stay at home.
Yeah.
Let me
How
tell you something. If you like Old Hickory, you're hard pressed to go fishing. If there's one lake I wouldn't, me and Wendell drove to Old Hickory 4 times to fish USA Bass and Regional. back in the day, and we only fished one of them. Like we were there, we were gonna lock through, go below the dam, and then as the first year they didn't lock us through, and we go to the meeting and they said that's like, hell, we're going home. I was like, oh, Hickory is the worst lake I ever been to. That's one place the Elite Series never needs to go. I'd rather go to Percy Priest than Old Hickory. I gotta tell you.
Well, I tell people if you can't go to Old Hickory and catch 30, 40 of them, you got something going wrong.
Yeah,
Now,
So,
come on, it ain't got 30 or 40 in it.
well, you're
yeah,
Maybe
catching all of
catfish.
it. So the secret to Old Hickory though is something purple, a worm that's purple. That's the trick on
Yeah,
Old Hickory. Yeah.
I
So,
actually got the Old Hickory Lake record spotted bass.
oh
right?
really? Heck
Yeah,
yeah,
5'2".
man. Well, see,
Man,
there
man.
is. I mean, there is something halfway decent. So
It's the only one ever been in there. It must have swam from below the dam.
yeah, that I talked to somebody that said that somebody had caught a 10 out of Old Hickory, and I said somebody transplanted that sucker there. There's no way that there
Oh,
was a
I
10
guarantee
in
it.
there.
Dude,
So
back in the day, they used to catch 8 and 10 pounders out of Hickory whenever it had grass in it.
yeah, yeah, and so but yeah, I I grew up on it, and I loved Old Hickory, and it has definitely gotten rough now, in which y'all see it all the time. I mean, these wake boats have really like destroyed a lot of fisheries just with they don't care
Oh, yeah.
they just plow through whatever, and then they put that bilge or fill that bladder up to make that bigger wake, and they can ruin some grass in a heartbeat.
Well, listen, I agree with you for most everything you said there, except for you talking about Old Hickory Lake. That place always sucked.
So, but yeah, maybe we can meet in the middle, and I could show you a thing or two, and we probably won't go out there and maybe just catch five.
I ain't going on no Hickory, pal. I'm going to tell you. If there's the least series event, I'll take my 0.
So, so don't tell Bass that they need to go to Old Hickory then.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they ain't going anywhere near Nashville. Nashville
No,
don't need bass fishing. They got country music.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
that's yeah.
Real
So
quick, shout out to Kim with the Jack's Bait and Tackle. Kim just messaged she's watching right now. So Kim, glad you're on tonight, and
yeah,
shout out to you, Jack's Bait and Tackle, right there in Chattanooga as well. So thanks, Kim, for the comment.
yeah. But I would like to see you. Oh, Matt, I would like to see y'all come back to Old Chick,
I
and
would too.
I got a good buddy of ours. He this year he's caught over 50 10-pounders just this year that he's put over the gunnel, and
I believe that.
he's got the third largest bass ever caught in the state of Tennessee with 14.2. So come out
Yeah.
of Chick.
I know they've
Is-
been catching some big ones out there live
Yeah,
scoping.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I heard I know they've been catching like 38-pound bags.
yeah. Well, he said that all he was doing is that he had like a little Kitech 3.3 Kitech that he
Yeah.
had just a little swim jig that he was just throwing it out. He was on a guide trip, and he was letting the people in the front, and he was controlling the old tricks from the back. And he said all I was doing is just having a line in the water. And he
Just
said
dragging it behind the boat with the drift.
he
Really?
said I seen this big old log on the screen, and it hit, and he said I thought it was just that log, and I got hung up. And he said the next thing he knows, it started going out towards the channel, and he says I got a fish, and then wind up he wasn't even fishing; he was just dragging a Kitech down the river.
That sound like my fishing partner's kind of like, oh, I'm hung up. Oh, it's a 14.5 pounder.
Right. So, what? How excited if you was to catch a 14 plus? How excited would we see old Matt on the stage next to Mercer?
I might do some explicit things, boys.
Yeah,
get get oh, it would be bad.
In
It
they
other
would
words,
be bad.
in other words, grab your popcorn.
yeah
Grab your popcorn. Don't choke on it.
That's going to be a show that they definitely do not need to have it literally on live. So they need at least a 5 second little delay on
5 second time
Yeah,
delay.
I'll get that $10,000 fine for sure.
it. Yep, but I mean, because how much would be the big bass if you won big bass of the tournament? What would that be?
God, I can't remember. I think it's like 4 grand, but I think you get a big bass of the year. I think Jason Christie got it,
Yeah,
and I think it come out of Lay Lake last year. That great big one he caught in there, a 9 pounder out of Lay Lake of all
Right.
places.
Wow.
He
yeah.
slipped into somebody's farm pond, I think.
so,
Them fish don't grow like that in Lay Lake.
Uh,
but we got Matt's asking if you could do the old boot. We'll hold
The
off on the
shoey?
old on the shoey, yeah. we can
Oh,
hold
I
off
ain't even
on
got none with me right now. I don't have no boots.
it. so, uh, and then Jen Muse says, "Hey," she said, "What did I miss?" Well, you just missed a bunch of rabbit holes going down. That's about it. So,
Yeah.
um, and somebody said a cartwheel. We ain't doing a cartwheel.
Y'all. She missed Norman. Norman got smart, and I'd give him a spanking earlier.
Yeah, he he
Well,
he,
pal.
I, wa- I
he
want I want to see
he
you go old. I want to see you go old school and show us a breakdance on stage. Go
Oh
back,
God, I ain't the one you want dancing.
do an do an Iconelli or a Skeet Reese and go back old school and breakdance.
Y'all have to get a chiropractor pop my hip back in place or something.
so let's see. I don't know. We got so many people on here. It's
Norman,
over.
who's the coolest guy you ever got in a boat with in Knoxville?
Hell yeah, you brother.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
That's right.
should I say that you're the only person that you got in the boat with in Knoxville, or we just leave that off the record?
Well, that's
I,
off the record. I don't even believe that.
so
I ain't on CNN, am I?
no,
you
no, no.
you ain't
We
live till you try to hold a camera in one hand and hold on for dear life with your other.
I do want to say I seen while we were trying to edit some videos and he was filming right after blast off, and I don't think you could get some cigarette papers in between some of them channel buoys that you were going by.
Oh gosh, Norman. It wasn't that bad. We didn't hit nothing.
Well, the problem is, I'm the one usually behind the steering wheel, and when you put me in the
Yeah,
passenger seat, it's like anybody that co-anglers with me. It's like they're hey, when you're not in control of the boat, you're just hanging on for dear life and hoping
you
to
did.
God that
If you didn't die, you're fine.
Hey, that's and it's a life lesson if you did.
yeah.
So
No, it
Oh
was no, it was a fun day, and what I took away from it, of course, I pretty much almost 99% of the time we were filming, trying to get enough footage to make a video for that day. But what I took away from that is just watching you throw that. I'm trying to
it
think.
was a coal shed.
The Berkeley coal shad, and
yep,
I don't think
Yeah.
the one you were throwing was not released yet. I think it wasn't getting
No,
released
it
till
wasn't
later
his
on that year.
prototype.
yeah.
But watching you throw that Berkeley coal shad, for anybody that doesn't know or just tries to get out there and start chunking a swim bait or glide bait around, there is a true art to it. And I was just sitting back there watching you and watching how precise you are at the reel hand, the movement, the rod tip. I mean, just how you work it. There's a real art to that thing, dude. And that's kind of what I took away from it, is just watching you trying. Because I'm not a big glide bait fisherman. Now that I'm up here in
Yeah.
Tennessee versus Florida, I need to start throwing the glide bait and just get out there and start practicing with it because I've never thrown it
Yeah.
before. But after watching you, I definitely got to get out there and try to see if I could start trying to get myself up.
Especially on Chickamauga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. I need to get out there and learn it because being in Florida for 50 years and being up here the last four, we don't throw the glide bait down there in Florida. So I definitely need to get out here with it, try it. But it
Oh
was a
yeah.
work of art watching you throw that thing all day long.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Now, what uh, what size rod and your tackle and stuff when you're throwing those big glide baits? What are you using for that?
Like whenever I'm throwing that coal shed, I'm throwing a 7.3 medium heavy ugly stick, and then like the other ones, like if it's a small glide bait, I'll use the 7.6 ugly stick carbon. But if I'm throwing the bigger glide baits, that's whenever I throw the ugly stick carbon catfish rod. It's a
Right.
7.6 medium heavy, big long handle, and it's made to handle those big baits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Now when they hit the bait, because with the couple big ones that you put in the boat while I was with you, it almost looked like when they ate the bait, they almost loaded up and almost instantaneously, it almost like hooked themselves because you pulled back the same time you
Oh
felt them
yeah,
load up, or is it that kind of a hit, or do they just smash it and just bow your rod into it
they
when they hit it?
They smash it. Every once in a while, you'll have them knock slack in your line whenever they're coming to you. But most of the time, it's they clobber it, dude.
Oh
yeah.
wow,
Like it, they just you come back on them and they're trying to get it to their stomach, you know.
man.
So
Um, Matt says, "What is your opinion on the new Lowrance Eagle Eye 9?"
um, dude, I really don't know about the new one. I run the old La Ranch HDS 10s, so I really can't tell you because I don't know much about it. My fishing partner has one and he likes it, but yeah, that's about the extent on
Yeah.
that.
But that is probably the best bang for the buck unit that you can get though right now.
Oh, there ain't no doubt it's best bang for the buck. Like if you ain't got the money for something
Yeah.
higher, like yeah, that's for
Yeah.
sure. That's money.
Yeah,
So, and are you getting a new boat, or are you keeping the one that you? Because you got a new one last year, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, I got a new one last year. I'm gonna be running another Phoenix
Yeah.
this coming year.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
you were running a Triton for when you started till the beginning of last season when you got the new one. How was the boat last year, and because you went into a Phoenix last year and you're going to go into another one this year, how was the boat? What was the changes, and was it different running a new boat versus the one you've been running? I'm sure it was.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll be honest with you, that Triton didn't hold up. I broke every stringer. I broke the stringers loose from the rod locker's back, and yeah, she got totaled. Couldn't hang in the big water, and totaled her out. And this Phoenix, I run her hard this year. Big water, real big water. Lake Ontario, Lake
yeah.
Champlain, and dude, I'll be honest with you. Like it's an unreal boat. Like they're next level, built tough, built to run, and yeah, dude, I'm real happy with them.
That's
So,
awesome, man.
so
Yeah, yeah.
I think North Carolina is going to be the closest tournament for this question. But we had talked to you before, and I forgot where you were at, and you said something that you were gonna that how if you made the top 10 that you was gonna go do some offshore fishing, and you wasn't talking about like in the on some ledges. You was talking about running out
I
to
was
the
going
ocean.
tuna fishing.
That's it. Yeah. So. Is there going to be a chance that we may be able to see some tunas coming into the the old ugly stick, old Norman's daddy's boat?
So I was all about like I said if I come in 10th, I'm going,
Yeah,
and I was going, and the bass officials had a conversation with me, and pretty much what it boiled down to is if I went out in the ocean to go out there and do that, I was going to get disqualified. So I was
nah,
like,
nah.
I said, you got to be kidding me. Like, there ain't no off limits there. I didn't see no off limits as far as going out in the ocean. I did find out where the big tunas are is a little further than I could go, but I'd have still went out there and tried a little something,
I mean, it never hurts, does
All right.
No,
it?
no.
So what what was it that made you decide to go into to where you want to make fishing as a profession?
Dude, it wasn't really a thing like I decided to do. Like I was working, I was making. I'll be honest with you, if the good money tournaments hadn't left Kentucky Lake, I don't think I would have actually fished tried to make the Elite Series. But like the cart came, the tournaments left or whatnot. I was
Yeah,
making good money, like working and fishing, and dude, like tournaments left, so I couldn't make that money. So I was like, well, heck, if I'm gonna try it, I might as well do it
do it now.
now. And so it just kind of not something I planned on. It just happened.
Right.
Yeah. Now, did you follow the Bassmaster tournament trail back when you were younger? And
Um,
did you have any guys that fished that you kind of might have looked up to, or wanted to kind of replicate your career if you turned pro after somebody that was already on tour? Or
like I watched some Bassmaster, but not a lot. My guy growing up, I'll be honest with you, it was Jimmy Houston.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jimmy Houston was my guy. Watch him throw a spinner bait. Throwing a spinner bait's my jam. So
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. Another question is, what can you tell a first timer fishing Gunnersville in April? What is your tips and tricks and techniques you would use on that lake?
If you're going to Gunnersville in April, you better take you a daggum Senko because they're going to be spawning. Cast it up around the lily pad stems and around the bank, and also probably a buzz bait.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. I haven't fished it in April in a while, but I also like throwing a bruiser baits of the the
The
big
big.
nasty weightless 14.25 inch, throwing that sucker weightless up in them mats and just
oh
letting it
yeah,
be like a snake coming back. That's one thing that like, will get you going if anything gets you going,
Yeah.
Matt.
oh yeah,
So
I
That might
believe
have
it.
to be a day trip for us next April, Colin.
yeah, we'll have to definitely do that, and maybe maybe we can get our schedules lined up to where we can meet Matt on Kentucky Lake, and he can kind of show us how it's done, and we'll do some filming. And if I mean, at least we can get some blooper reels rolling out through there too. So,
There for sure will be blooper reels.
so, but let's see. What is what is one thing that you have learned with fishing professionally that you learned that you really wasn't kind of expecting from fishing professionally?
Um, I don't know, man. Like I'll be honest with you, like fishing locally, I didn't really learn how diverse of a fisherman I was.
Right,
Um, like whenever I go to like, I would have never thought. Like if you look at the other guys from around Kentucky Lake who have went out and tried to and fish the FLW tour or Bassmaster Elite Series, like a lot of them haven't fared too well away from home and. Like lo and behold, I'm surprised I can go up north and catch them smallmouth.
right.
All right.
You know?
Yeah, because I think I seen something that you actually had. You said that you actually like going up there catching them smallies,
Yeah,
um, which surprised me because I was thinking, all right, he's Kentucky Lake, River Channel, and so I was thinking that you would rather be like on the Tennessee River somewhere
Yeah.
fishing instead of going up north and hitting them smallies. But
But
I tell you,
the
I them smallies though you can't get them. I mean, I'd rather catch 5 pound smallies all day than going after some green ones. So,
Yeah,
but
I was
yeah,
gonna say some of your best events in the last couple of seasons have been on those smallmouth impoundments once you went up
yeah,
north too, and
yeah,
that's saying something for a Kentucky boy that don't catch them like that, the
yeah,
smallies like that.
yeah,
Local on Kentucky to go up there and really hammer it to it up there, which is kind of I guess new to you within the last 4 or 5 years. here is just pretty
Yeah.
incredible to watch you go to town up there.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's been a blast, dude. It doesn't help I run with three of the best smallmouth fishermen in the country.
Nah.
Like Seth taught me how to look for them, and like Seth teaching me how to look for them, and the speed you look for them, like you do it fast. There ain't no slow fishing about it.
Yeah,
And Chris and Corey's pretty tight lipped, but they give me a few little clue in on things. And but yeah, dude, it's
yeah,
been good up there.
Yeah. Well, that's
yeah.
one.
Northern.
That,
I was gonna ask you how much do they kind of help you there on them smallmouth impoundments, the three that you actually room with? Because I'm gonna say, can you take everything they say with a grain of salt, or
Chris and Corey, they helped me out before. They gave me an area they told me was good once, but other than that, man, like the other places, they're pretty tight lipped. Seth is pretty tight lipped. I mean, we'll let each other know kind of what we're catching, but yeah, them Johnston boys, they are tight lipped.
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I figured though, if you give bring Seth some darts, he'll be all right, and he might be a little bit more open lipped about
yeah.
No, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
it.
A buddy of mine back from Florida, we've actually had him on the podcast as a guest before, but a buddy of mine that fished and he roomed with Chris and Corey when they were fishing the FLW tour. Uh, uh, Brandon McMillan, he was telling us a
Yeah.
story where he's an old Florida boy, and when they started going to the lakes up there, the big smallmouth up north during the FLW tournament, he'd actually get all of his rods ready, and then 2 nights before the tournament, he'd hand them all to Chris and Corey and have them tie all the FG knots on because it took him about 5 years on tour before he knew how to tie a darn FG knot. So he just hand
I
all his
believe
rods to
that.
Chris and Corey, and they tie the FG knots on all of his rods for him, which I thought was pretty hilarious.
That is funny, but I believe it.
So, well, we had old Caleb Summerall on, and
Yep.
he talked about the time that he said that he whooped up on you, and so I was just wanting to know how true is that statement, or was he just
That's a
talking just
lie.
because he was on a podcast?
That's a lie. Ain't Caleb ain't never whooped nobody. No,
So
all jokes aside, if y'all run it, y'all seen Caleb in person.
yeah,
Like he's one of the biggest men
he's
I
pretty
like.
he's
There
a
ain't
pretty
many
stout.
men you come across like that.
Yeah.
no.
No, he'll
So
bench press you.
yeah,
Like,
he, he
well, he
said that.
curl Norman and bench press you. Like,
Right. He he
yeah,
said that he didn't care how much weight you lost, that he was still going to take you. So that's all that he was saying. So
yeah. Well, I'm gonna try to do it about midweight. So
so
see how that works out this time.
There was something about him throwing you in the bushes or something like that.
mhm.
Yeah, and there's a dent in the bushes. I had to see the dent in the shrub for the next 4 days driving past it.
So who so I mean, as people can see, that there's never a dull moment in the house that y'all are in, or even with the crew that y'all hang out with. But has there been anybody that's kind of been like a mentor to you, or is all of them just half crazy and you just in one ear out the other
No, no, not really. No mentor. They're 100% all full of shit and half crazy.
ear?
Now, are you going to
Every
start?
one of them.
Are you going to start the Derby Boys up again this coming year? Because
Listen, man.
I watched the first one and you guys kind of didn't do any more. I think you guys had some technical problems or something where you're working on doing a second one
Well,
for
I'll
the
be honest with
series.
you. Yeah, we like our camera guy just ain't give us the footage. That's the problem. I'll be honest with you. And ain't nothing I can do at it. Can't nothing I there ain't nothing I can do about it. It's out of my control. Um, just ain't got the footage, and if he ever gets it to us, then we'll put it out. But until then, we're kind of up the
Yeah,
creek without a paddle.
Yeah.
yeah,
So while we're kind of on the topic of wrestling is, has your wife started taking like taekwondo of beating all these women off of you to make sure that all these women stay clear of Norman's daddy?
It's funny you mentioned that, because she does have to keep them beat off, and she keeps an eye on the perimeter, make sure none of them gets too close, and I'm sure she's on here making. This is probably y'all's highest women viewed podcast you've ever had. To be honest with you.
It may
Probably.
be.
Yeah.
So, but we've had you on here for almost an hour, brother, and I know I'm excited about this next season coming up, and I know that we're going to see you in Fort Worth, but we're not going to see you how we want to see you in Fort Worth.
Yep.
But we will definitely get hook up with you and shoot a video or two with you, and
Yep.
so maybe we can grab. We might actually have enough time to go grab a bite to eat or something. But
We can do that.
um, but I think because y'all are y'all going to Hartwell or Murray? One of the two, isn't it?
Going to Hartwell this year.
So we're going to try to get over to Hartwell then to be able to go hang out with y'all for a couple of
Cool.
days and do some media stuff. But I also want to talk a little bit about you've done a tournament, and you just done a tournament um, that was the first one was on Hartwell, if I'm correct,
Yep.
and then you done another one that was on Kentucky Lake. Am I correct?
Yeah. I did an Autumn tournament the last 2 years.
Right. So, and
Yep.
how has the turnouts been on that?
Dude, it was awesome. We had 250 boats at Hartwell,
Man,
had 210 boats on Kentucky Lake, and yeah, dude, real good payout, no entry fee. All you got to do is wear some on them gear, and dude, listen, first place at the last one paid like $9,200.
dang,
Like where else you gonna find that at?
yeah,
And then we always have a big party, big shindig afterwards. So
yeah,
yeah, like I said, dude, like it. I had guys come to Kentucky Lake. They drove all the way from Colorado,
Wow.
and at the one at Hartwell, some guys flew in and used somebody's boat. Flew in from Alaska. Like
golly,
they come from all over, dude. It's
Man, that's
awesome, and
awesome.
I love the hell out of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's crazy to see like how much how wide of a span that you have gotten where people come all over. And at the classic, like, we were seeing people from Nebraska, Montana, Northwest, even out in
Yep,
California and stuff, wearing the on them stuff. And I'm like, because the first couple of them that I've seen, I was like, so y'all from Kentucky? And they're like, no, we're from Iowa. And we're like, how in
yeah.
the world did you hear about Matt? So, but it's amazing. We love to see the what you're doing, and we love again that you are keeping it real,
Always.
and so. But with that being said, brother, I don't want to let you miss out on some potatoes and some ice cream and some drumsticks. So,
Oh
uh,
yeah, because I'm fixing to dig into it, buddy.
so, but well, that being said, guys, we're about to wrap this thing up. Tell your wife though, Matt, that we appreciate her letting us have you for an hour. So, but
Yeah.
Norman, ask away our last question that we asked, brother.
All right, Matt. If you were to have or be able to have one person on your boat, we asked you this question a couple times before, but one person on your
Yeah,
boat, this
yeah,
person could be passed away or still with us.
yeah,
Who would
yeah.
that person be that you want to fish with for the day, and why would you want to fish with them?
Oh, 100% my granddad. I'd give up my Elite Series event to go fish one more day or my
Man,
Elite Series career to go out there and fish with my granddad again. So,
that's
yeah,
super, man.
grew up fishing with him all my life, and yeah.
That's
Heck
awesome,
yeah,
man.
I
All
understand
right.
that.
Hey,
So,
when we go out, once we go off live, if you could stay with us, Matt, for an extra minute, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, that's cool.
so, hey, Matt, is there? can they get the on them hats and shirts and stuff like that off a website or off your social media?
Yeah, yeah, off the website, on'emfishing.com.
So we've got 1,800 people on right now on 9 different platforms. So we go and order all the hats. Let's make them have to put it on back order.
Yeah.
So
Make sure to follow Matt on all the social platforms as well, and we will
Yeah,
edit
yeah.
the description of the episode on
yeah.
all the platforms, and we will put the link to his social platforms as well on the description to the episode.
So, but guys, thank you again for coming on. Matt, thanks for coming on.
Yep.
Or
Thank you,
sorry,
brother. Appreciate it.
Norman's daddy for coming on. And
Oh, yeah.
guys, so guys, make sure you follow Matt because I believe that this next year is going to be a big one for him, and I believe that we're going to see a blue trophy being held up.
Yeah.
Uh, held up by old Norman's daddy. And if he holds up a blue trophy, can we get you to say Norman's daddy on there with,
Oh,
and we'll just
100%.
so uh and then so everybody here that knows will know what that means, and just say Norman's daddy and just walk off the stage. That's
I
all we
will.
need.
I
So
will. No, Mercer's going to be looking at me like, what?
so, but guys, thank you again. And
Yep.
this fat boy's going to get something to eat. And we will see you next week. And Norman, who do we have coming on next week?
Next week, remember, same time, same channel, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Ed Luckman will be on. Bassmaster Elite Series winner last year will be on joining us next week.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Ed.
So,
Yeah.
all right, brother. Guys, thank you again. And make sure y'all go and follow old Matt Robertson and on all his socials. We will put them all in the description. And so it'll be easy to click on. And we'll see you next week, guys.
Live the passion.